Hey there. I hope you're having a really great day today. I just wanted to take a little bit of time and just share something that comes up all the time in the work that I do with people. First, I'll start with the question. Have you ever felt like you're trying so hard to show up for the people that you love and somehow you still feel like you're falling short? Like no matter how much you give, it doesn't feel like it's enough. And at the same time, you care so deeply about being a safe place for other people, especially for the people that you care about the most. So you find yourself caught in the tension of, if I don't show up for them, I feel selfish. If I do show up for them, I start losing myself. That is the conundrum that so many people, and I would say women, live in. And today I want to help you understand why that happens and how to shift it so you can be deeply connected to others without abandoning yourself. Let's name two messages that many of us were taught, directly or indirectly. Number one, be kind, loving, available, and responsive. Number two, don't be needy, don't be difficult, and don't disappoint. Those two messages together can create a pattern of self-abandonment disguised as love, especially for those of you who resonate with being motivated by comfort and connection. You feel people, you sense their needs, you value harmony and connection, and those are beautiful strengths. But without boundaries, those strengths can quietly turn into patterns of over-accommodating, over-functioning, under-honoring yourself. So what starts to happen? You begin to adjust yourself, shape yourself, silence yourself, all in order to keep the connection. And over time, you may start to feel invisible, overwhelmed, emotionally exhausted, resentful, and like you're still somehow failing everyone all the time anyway. And that is a painful place to live. At the core of this pattern is a belief. If I don't take care of everyone else, I might lose connection. So you trade self-connection for external connection. But here's what we have to understand here. When you lose connection with yourself, you actually weaken your ability to connect with others. Here's the truth that I want you to hear. You cannot be a safe place for others if you are not a safe place for yourself first. Real connection is not built on you becoming someone else and fulfilling other people's needs all the time. It's built on you showing up as your regulated, healthy self. Because when you abandon yourself, your nervous system becomes dysregulated. You start feeling depleted or reactive, or both, and the connection becomes unstable. But when you are rooted in yourself, you can listen without losing yourself, you can care without collapsing, you can respond without resentment, and you can love without disappearing. That is what secure, healthy connection looks like. I know this from my own life. There have been seasons where I have thought being loving meant always being available, always saying yes, always apologizing, always accommodating. And over time, I noticed I was becoming exhausted, a little resentful, and not actually showing up as my best self. Learning to stay connected to myself while I connect with others has been one of the most important things I've done in my life and for my relationships. This is exactly why I created the Voice Framework, because it gives you a way to stay connected to yourself while also staying connected to others. First step of the Voice Framework is value. This is recognizing that I get to matter too. My experience matters, my energy matters, my thoughts, wants, and needs matter, and not more than others, but equally. Then, openness. Allowing yourself to notice what you feel, what you need, what your body is telling you, without judging yourself for it. Next comes intentional action. Instead of reacting from fear, guilt, or pressure, you pause and you choose, what is the most aligned way for me to respond right now? Then clearing. It's releasing guilt, people-pleasing patterns, emotional buildup, unspoken resentment, so that it doesn't leak out sideways in your relationships. Finally, E for expression. Expression is showing up honestly, communicating your voice with love, clarity, and respect. Not aggressively, not passively, but authentically. When you live this way, you don't stop being loving. You actually become more deeply loving, more authentically loving, because your love becomes honest, it becomes present, regulated, and it's sustainable. Let's make this really practical. Here's an old pattern. I'll say yes even though I'm exhausted, so they don't feel hurt. Now here's a voice-centered response. I care about you, and I want to be fully present when we connect. I'm not able to do that right now, but I would love to plan something for tomorrow. Same love, different energy, healthy connection. Another example might look like this. Old pattern. I'll sit here and listen even though I'm overwhelmed and shut down. Voice-centered response. I want to be here for you, and I'm noticing that I'm getting overwhelmed. So I need a short break. Can we come back and talk in just a little bit? That is self-honoring and connection honoring at the same time. Now, if any of this sounds familiar to you, I just want to reassure you that you are not broken. If you've been living in this kind of tension, you're not broken. You've learned to equate love with self-sacrifice, and that made sense at some point in your life. But now you're allowed to grow into a new, healthier way. A way where you are connected and rooted. You're both loving and honest, responsive and self-honoring. That is what it means to find your voice in your relationships. So here's a question that I want to leave you with. Where have I been abandoning myself in the name of love? And what would it look like to stay connected to yourself while also staying connected to other people? If this is something that you're ready to grow in, this is the work that we do inside of the Voice Collective. It's a space where women learn to regulate their nervous systems, understand themselves, and show up in their relationships with clarity and confidence. I would love to have you join us. Also, if you liked this message, go ahead, like, follow, subscribe. And remember, you don't have to choose between loving yourself and loving others. You get to do both. And this is where your healthiest, most powerful voice lives.